All right. It's lunchtime. What are you having? I don't really know what I'm having yet. But welcome to the Blue Plate Special. I'm Andy Andrews, and we've got we got a funny story to tell you today. I mean, last night, and I'll tell you in just a minute, but last night, Matt and I were driving, and we were wondering, what do we need to talk about today? And then we pulled into a service station, and a little bit later, when we pulled out of the service station, we looked at each other and said, okay, we know what we're going to talk about. Anyway, welcome in. We're glad you're here. And hey, right now, in a minute, you'll see the Facebook notification button come up. And it's like, would you like to be notified when Andy's live or something like that? I don't know what it says exactly, but click that, all right? Because we're doing the Blue Plate Special at, we don't know what days, but it will be at 12:15. Now, we know what days this week, because we're going to be doing it today, tomorrow, and Friday. That's this week. Now, we don't know next week, but click that notification. Also, if you have a moment right now, feel free to go ahead and share this. Just click that share button, send it to your page, keep watching with us, and talk to us, and keep going. Today's episode of the Blue Plate Special is it's kind of funny to me that people ask about the sponsors a lot of times. With the podcast, The Professional Noticer, we have sponsors like Tucker ATV, the small town business with the national reputation. And people ask about the sponsors a lot. But today, we're actually going to have a sponsor that they're sponsoring this show the old-fashioned way, right? They didn't pay for a sponsorship; they earned it. Okay, so let me tell you right off the bat, today's episode of the Blue Plate Special is sponsored by Clean Sweep and Stephanie Jones, the owner there, also by Seth's Towing Services. So just hang on. Hey, Gina Christmas, I see you have joined us. There are people getting on like crazy. Amy Paget. We're streaming videos, not like people's lives. Anthony Crawford. Sugarcane Jane did, oh my gosh, you guys. I mean, I know you're taking a breath right now. I can't believe you're even watching this. Anthony. That's Anthony and Savannah. This is Sugarcane Jane. And Sugarcane Jane just finished their hibernation tour for all of us that are sequestered and quarantined. And they just finished 43 nights in a row at 9:30. I mean, a concert every night live at 9:30 from their studio. It was just awesome. But anyway, I just wanted to thank Sugarcane Jane. Thank you, guys. I know Mark Lowry is kind of doing the same thing. Mark's still going. I mean, Mark, 10 in the morning. He's got Mondays with Mark, so don't forget that. And what else? Jimmy Urey. Jimmy is still doing it. There's George Cosser. Howdy. Hey, let me back that thing up. Let me see what that last one was. Oh, Kelly in Dallas. Hey. Mutual friend in Joe Peachy. Yes, we do have a mutual friend in Joe Peachy. Dean Kaiser. Delavan, Illinois. Let's see. There's Jennifer from Australia. Wow, from Australia. It's like Australia, like the real Australia, I'm assuming. This is the wonders of the internet. Because, and when I say the real Australia, it's because I live in the South. And it's like, you drive around here, sometimes you think, could people not come up with their own words for towns? There's Lebanon, Tennessee, there's Philadelphia, Mississippi, Paris, Texas. There's, there's Jackson, Alabama. It's like you'd say, yeah, there's one in Mississippi. Well, we got one in Alabama now. I mean, I don't know how people come up with this stuff. I also don't know how people figure out how they're going to pronounce the name of their town one way and spell it another. Near Jackson, Alabama, there is a town, if you look on the map, And Jackson, Alabama is where Tucker ATV is, this small town business with a national reputation. The reason we say that is because they do business in 14 states. Come to buy their Polarises and all there in Jackson, Alabama. But there's a town nearby, and it's named Salitpa. It is spelled SALITPA. I'm messing myself. Salitpa is how it is spelled. That's how the sign, welcome to Salitpa. But everybody in the area says Salipta. I don't understand how that happens. And by the way, yes, there really is an Intercourse, Alabama. Okay, so Jennifer from Australia, which I'm assuming is Australia, not like Australia, Georgia or something, but Jennifer from Australia said, what is the logo on your T-shirt? Well, I'm glad you asked. You know, this is like a Chad from YouTube says, hey, James D. from Crown Point, Indiana. All right, you know, this is like a baseball jersey, right? This is what we used to wear when we were kids. Well, this logo is for what I call AWI, but it's American Warrior Initiative. And by the way, I just thought, you know, we're going to go sometime soon, going to start doing the podcast live from here in the studio. We're going to do them live, and they're going to be interview oriented. And I'll wear nicer shirts then. But if you guys don't mind, is just doing the YouTube thing. We're just having lunch together, and I'm going to wear like T-shirts if that's okay, because I wear T-shirts most of the time. And so this is American Warrior Initiative, which, if you're not familiar with them, you need to Google American Warrior Initiative. Louise Thaxton, we call her Wheezy, started this, and with the help of Steve Jacobson, Fairway Mortgage, and they started this unbelievable. This is like it's a nonprofit. I guess that's, hey, Mike Jakubic. I could tell you a million stories there. Mark Lowry says, Cut and Shoot, Texas. Seriously? Is that cut? I didn't make sure it wasn't gut and shoot, but it's Cut and Shoot. Cut and Shoot, Texas. That's a weird one. So anyway, Louise Thaxton, with the help of Jake, created this charitable organization, and they connected with they got Sean Parnell connected. Sean Parnell is the author of among several books. I think he's done 3 now. You need to look up Sean Parnell when Amazon starts selling books again. But for now, Google him. But he's the author of Outlaw Platoon, which is like a big New York Times bestseller because Mark was the honcho of the Outlaw Platoon there in Afghanistan and Iraq, and just is truly an American hero. Well, when Sean came back, a lot of the people in his platoon, just like one by one, began going off the rails in a bad way. I mean, committing suicide, and the numbers are staggering, and it's heartbreaking. But as Louise began to dig in and ask and question Sean about certain things, they found there were certain things they needed. And so this was an organization that they created that had a lot of, area that they could work. They weren't going to be focused on one specific thing, except returning veterans. That was the criteria, returning veterans, and helping them and their families, and helping them get. And so they have the flexibility, not just to like, okay, we can give you a gift basket, and that's kind of what we do, or not. We can give you a $500 scholarship for your child, and that's what it's not like that. They have the flexibility to do what they want to do, and because of Fairway Mortgage's involvement in this is a company that has between 8,000 and 10,000 employees, and these people have personally volunteered to have a payroll deduction. Okay, now, this is a very small payroll deduction, but when you have that many people, they fund this thing, right? So they're not having to spend their time trying to raise money and having banquets and bringing bozos like me in to speak and and trying to. I mean, it's funded. All right, it's funded, and so they literally have provided. And I'm not talking about one or two. I'm talking about many mortgage-free homes for people. They have provided an unbelievable number of service dogs. They've connected with some other companies to provide big stuff. I mean, big life-changing stuff, and also connecting them with whatever they need mentally as well as physically and emotionally coming home. So anyway, it was a longer story that I didn't mean to go into everything, but every time I talk about American Warrior Initiative, or every time I wear this shirt and people ask me, I love telling the story because I love Wheezy, love Sean, love Jake, and you just can't help but love people who are loving on people. All right. So there's Fonzie Bullard. What do you say? Fonzie says, I love having lunch this way. You love having lunch this way because you're watching me, Fonzie, or you love having lunch this way because you say, I'm upstairs and Joe is downstairs. Is that why you love having lunch this way, or is it because you're watching me? Fonzie and Joe Bullard are just like some of my favorite people in the world. Fonzie says, so proud of you and glad to do this now. And thank you. I appreciate you tuning in regularly. Okay, I think I need to tell you the story. I'm hoping Brent Burns is on here today. I messaged Brent. I didn't hear back from him, but I hope Brent. I know Jimmy is. Hey, maybe Terry Bradshaw is. Was that fun Friday, having Terry Bradshaw on to eat lunch with us? The lunchtime blue plate special. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story now. This is going to kill you. Okay, so, 24 hours ago, we didn't know what we were going to talk about. And Matt and I we'd gone away for kind of just a retreat, just a couple of guys. It's just, Austin and Adam didn't go. It was just Matt and me. And we were going to fish a little bit, then ride around, see the woods, see if we could hear a turkey. We didn't. But we saw a bunch of deer, a bunch of hogs. I saw an indigo bunting, which is a totally cool bird. It's like, it makes a bluebird look like it's like dusty. An indigo bunting looks like somebody plugged it in. Anyway, I knew where there was a cedar tree that had fallen down. And so as we're building the studio here, right now, as we're kind of getting all this, we're in the glass booth and everything, and right now things are getting there. It's probably a good time with the quarantine to be able to get this done like we want it. Austin put palmetto leaves on we've got a thatched roof over this hut that's glass enclosed, and right now Matt is right here, and soon Matt will be right over here. He's got his own glass booth, okay? And so, but Matt, didn't grow up hunting and fishing and camping and so much as I did. Now, hey, Shelley has, and I did. I'm into that stuff. I think about it all the time. I read the books. The boys are. That's what we do, And so I wanted Matt to experience this, but I told him, I said, I know where a fallen cedar tree is. And his desk out there that we're building, it's nice. It's nice. It's kind of put in a corner type thing, and it's plywood that's stained. I guess that's plywood. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but it's stained, and it looks pretty good. But I said, I want you something that you love. you just love sitting there. And I said, nothing is better than just cool wood. You know, Austin makes these things, and he's into wood, and I'm into wood, and so I said, you have something, and I know where a fallen cedar is, and I think we can get it, and we can put it on a trailer, and we can take it home, and then we can find somebody who has like a portable mill. Okay, and now so I said we can do this. You know, we can cut the tree where it's falling off, and we cut it, and when I'm saying we, of course, I'm meaning Matt. So, so we get out there, and now here's something I got to tell you. We get out there, and I've seen this tree. This tree's been on the ground for 2 years. Okay, but it's right where you can put the trailer by it. All right, so I've seen this tree for 2 years, and it's straight. And, of course, cedar doesn't rot. And when cedar falls on the ground, it usually has the very thick limbs, and so the main trunk stays off the ground. So not only does it not rot easily, it's not even on the ground, the main trunk. And so you can harvest those and do something with it. Hey, Mike, Pastor Mike, yes. You ordered a spoon for Mother's Day? Good. And you talked about it on Sunday's online service. And one of your church members ordered it too. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I was going to our virtual church on Sunday, but it was raining, so didn't go. All right, so anyway, the cedar is on the ground. We pull up there. Now, you need to know, Matt has never run a chainsaw at this point. Is that true, Matt?
That's true.
That's true. Okay. Matt has never run a chainsaw. I have a chainsaw, but Matt is going to run it. Now, this already sounds like a recipe for disaster. Maybe so. But Matt's a big boy. You know, Matt's a big. How big are you, Matt? How tall? I mean, I don't mean like. I mean, he's like.
About 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there.
I think 6'3", because if I'm 6'1", you're 6'3" or 6'8". But how much do you weigh? So they know.
210.
210. So this is a guy 6'3", 210. I mean, and you're and he's 29 years old. So this is like prime of health, but I have a chainsaw. It's amazing, you get to an age in life, Joe Bullard, I know you're watching this. You get to an age in life where you can afford the stuff, but now you can't use it. But I got a 29-year-old. I'm not using the chainsaw, but I'm explaining to Matt. And after he works for a while, he says it's not cutting very well, because I had walked around the corner and he said it's not cutting very well. I've been working on this thing for a while, and it's just not cutting. And so I come back and I look and I said, okay, well, here. And I reached down and I go, and Matt goes, what's that noise? I'm just kidding. That's just a joke. Really, I was just trying to explain to him how we were going to take it off here. And I also, I'm looking at this thing because I've been watching it for 2 years, and I knew it was not under pressure. There was no torque. Yeah, it's not necessarily the chainsaw you got to worry about sometimes. When they go in there after hurricanes and they cut down trees that fall down, it's not so. A lot fewer people get cut by a chainsaw than get thrown into the next county with all their bones broken when the tree releases the torque and that thing goes wham like that. I mean, that's what a lot of times really messes people up. So I've been watching this and just make sure it's not under any torque or anything. It's split off here. So Matt cuts that part off there, and so all right, now it's still up, right? It's still up. And he cuts this part. So now we got kind of two logs, all right? We've got about 20 feet of straight log. And I'm showing Matt how, look in the middle here. Look at this purple and the white, and it's beautiful. And so then he takes the limbs off and cuts right in the middle. We get in the middle. So we got two logs. Take the limbs off. Now we got two logs laying there. Okay, so that's enough for Matt for a while. So then the next time we go there, we go with the trailer. And with the trailer, this trailer is like a four-wheel trailer, I guess. It's two on each side. And it wouldn't be a four-wheel trailer with all four on one side, would it? And so we back the trailer up where it's kind of facing one of the logs, where like the trailer thing goes down like this, right? Where the back of the trailer goes down like this, and the log is facing it like that. Well, I say to Matt, okay, just like, pick it up, push it up there. It's not even remotely, I mean, he can't move it. I mean, and he's a big guy. And of course, if he can't move it, I mean, I wasn't going to try anyway, but now I'm really not going to try. So, I get the idea because Kevin Perkins has always taught me, I am not handy. I'm not handy. I don't really, I mean, when we got married, I asked my next door neighbor to help with something, and he said, okay, do you have a Phillips head screwdriver? And I said, is that like a brand name? I mean, I'm not handy. Now I've learned over the years, I can kind of do some stuff. But I've learned from Kevin to always figure out a different way, how you're going to learn, how you're going to lift this. And so we get this other kind of piece of wood and stick it up on the trailer. So the winch from the back of the trailer is going up here and then down to where we've got this log strapped. We finally pull this thing and it lifts up and gets on, and once it gets flat on the trailer, then that winch pulls it right on to the trailer. Now, we do the same thing with the other one. But man, it's obvious at this point, this is heavy. And so we go back to the camp house and we showered and try to make sure we've scrubbed all the poison ivy off ourselves, and we ratchet strap those things. And Matt says, this is kind of crazy, isn't it? We're ratchet strapping this. And I said, well, we need to keep it. He said, you really think these things are going to bounce? And I'm like, yeah, I guess not. Because they weigh like, what would you say, Matt? Like 10,000 pounds, 40,000 pounds a piece. I mean, these things are heavy, okay? So, transfer the trailer from the Polaris that we got from Tucker ATV and put it onto the Joe Bullard car, all right? And we're ready to go. We shower, we're ready to go. So we're tired, but we're driving home, and we're talking, and one of the things we're talking about is, what are we, we're enjoying the Blue Plate Special. We're enjoying it. There's Dana. Dana says, Dana, you have a chainsaw and taught yourself how to use it and now have the most aggressive chain, carbide tip, the same as firefighters. Well, Dana, and thank you for bragging and making me feel even worse. And let's see, Dana says, the trees with the torque are called widow makers. I didn't know that. But since Matt and I are both married, it's good that you told us afterwards. But they weren't under torque. So we're driving along. It's getting dark, and it's probably, 8 o'clock, 8:30. And we pull into a town called Stockton. Now, Stockton is a very cool Alabama town. It's very small, but, most small towns have, like, kind of, I guess, really old houses and stuff. This is kind of an odd place. I don't know where the old houses are, but the houses that like right along the highway there, there's even a couple of mansions and big live oak trees, beautiful, but it only has like one little restaurant and one Dollar General store, and it has a big, like a gas station, right? It's not a service station. It's a gas station, general store. They sell meat in there. But the gas station has one long row of pumps. Well, a two-wheel trailer pulls nice. And I'm in this Joe Bullard vehicle, and it's nice. And the trailer is pulling easily because the weight of these logs have this trailer down. It's not bumping around or rattling behind us, and I kind of forget that it's there. And so I pull into the that line of gas stations, and here's the line. Of course, I pull past it. I'm going to go this way, and you can see this coming. I know you can already see this coming. We're going along, and all of a sudden, man, the car just goes boom, and it stops. Matt, weren't you driving then? You were driving then. No, I was driving. And I thought, we both thought, oh my God, I've hit a gas pump. And I knew immediately what I'd done. I just kind of forgot the trailer was there. There's that ADD thing happened. And I cut it to, and of course that trailer, it doesn't follow the car exactly. You have to swing wide if you're pulling the trailer. Well, I didn't swing wide. And man, it stopped the car. And of course, Matt and I went, because, you see on television, if somebody hits a gas pump, it explodes. And we're thinking, it's going to explode. Clay Patterson says he loves Stockton. I do too. I just love looking at that place every time I go through there. Fortunately, I did not hit the gas pump. But I did, with the trailer, I clipped those steel poles that are filled with concrete that protect the gas pumps from idiots like me. The wheel well, this wheel well's coming out here from the trailer. It ran the wheel well into that thing, and it bent the wheel well right up against the tire. I mean, right up against the tire. I mean, and it didn't pop the tire. It just bent the thing. We can't drive with it like that. And, I think I'm not handy. I'm not very handy. Matt is less handy. Okay. Now, I mean, he does the technical stuff. He is such a technician. He's the IT guy. But he's not really handy. Because Matt gets this little wrench about like this, and he's learning to see if I can get it out. Well, I mean, he can't get it out. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it out. And then, but I said, grab it. Just pull. See, you pull. Well, I mean, this steel, whatever the steel is, it's like Superman steel, and we can't move it. I mean, this thing's jammed against the tire. Tire's not blown, remember? So, of course, we're looking inside. I'm trying to see, are they fixing to come run out here and shoot us? Because, how did they not hear that?
I have no idea.
It's like, boom, how do you not hear that? But they didn't hear it. So I go inside because I can't get a credit card to work on the pump now. And, I'm not going to try another pump. So I said to Matt, I'm going to go in. I'm going to pay cash for some gas. And I'm going to see if they have, some kind of, pry bar or something in there. And so I go in, and the guy's in there. He goes, hello, welcome to Stockton. And I pay for my gas and say, hey, are you looking for anything else? And I said, well, I actually, you got any pry bars anywhere? And the pry bar? I said, yeah, a crowbar, something. No, nothing like that. We do have fishing tackle right over here. And I said, yeah, thank you, we already fished. But I go out, and there's a woman out there talking to Matt and saying, do this, or do this, do this. Now, we don't know who the woman is, okay, because she leaves pretty quickly. But this woman goes over to some other truck, and as this woman's leaving, she tells this other woman in this truck that these guys are, obviously idiots, and they have done it, they can't go. And so anyway, this lady, who turns out to be Stephanie Jones, this lady comes over, and she looks, and she goes, yeah. And she obviously knows we're idiots too, right? But she says, let me get my husband. So her husband, Alvin, comes out of his truck. This is Alvin Jones now. And by the way, Stephanie Jones, just so you know this, Stephanie Jones owns Clean Sweep. They're licensed, insured. I mean, but then in South Alabama, she has a cleaning service for condos, for houses. So that's Clean Sweep. I was trying to see if, because I want to give you her website. Well, let me just give you Matt, write this down. Maybe we can put this on at the end. This is Stephanie Jones, and that's Stefanie Jones 592 at gmail.com. Okay, she's the owner of Clean Sweep. But she gets Alvin over here, and Alvin looks and he goes, okay, here's what we do. He said, we take that strap that's on one of those things. Now we take that strap and we put it on the post that you hit, and we're going to clip the hooks to this part that's bent. And now you're just going to back up and bend it back out. And we're like, that is brilliant. It's brilliant. But before we can do anything, here comes a guy named Seth. Seth? It's not Seth. It's Ced. I can't see without my glasses. Without my glasses, his name is Seth. With my glasses, it's Ced. All right, so Cedric Banks is the owner of Ced's Towing Services. And Ced's there with a tow truck. And he comes over to see, can I help? Well, nobody knows anybody. And so immediately, Stephanie, she says to her husband, she says, tell him we got it. This guy, he's got a towing service. He's going to charge these, guys an arm and a leg. And it's hilarious because Ced brings his truck around, and when he pulls his truck up, the thing on the side of his truck says, not an arm, not a leg, just a toe. So anyway, Ced and Alvin are the experts. And they start, and Ced's got some kind of, it's just an awesome truck that has this remote control on the back, has this bar that come out, tilt and shift like that and pull in and chain. And so they're connecting the chain to this piece on the thing here. And so then they're messing with it and soon, and they can't get it to stay on there. And so at some point, Stephanie says, move over. And so now Stephanie's, and Matt and I are, we're standing back, these morons that can't fix anything while a woman is hooking the chain on this thing. And so, but then at one point, Ced goes and gets in his car and, or he gets in this big truck and he's like pulling forward a little bit. And so he's getting it off a little bit. And then he wants to come out and look at it. Well, he comes out and he's got his whole front of his jeans is soaking wet. And I see him kind of stop and, kind of go like that. And I see he spilled something like all over himself. And so I said, dude, I go over to him, dude, I'm so sorry. What did you spill? And he said, it's no big deal. He said, I just got a Diet Coke and I just spilled it all over myself. I said, all right, no problem. So he keeps going. I go in the store. And I come back and I said, hey, I'm putting this is a cold 6-pack of Diet Coke, putting it in your truck. They didn't have any dry jeans, but the least I can do is get you a 6-pack of Cokes. And so they can, pretty soon they get it. I mean, man, they got it. We're good to go. And so I'll tell you the end of the story here. So, Ced's Towing Services now, again, this is Cedric Banks that owns it. And he works in the Bay Minette, Alabama, Bay Minette, Stockton, Loxley area, just all around in there. And if you look up Ced's Towing LLC.com, that's CEDS TOWING LLC.com. That's Ced. Now, Ced was dressed great. He looked good. I hope he wasn't out like fixing to, like take his wife somewhere or something. But looked great. But I asked Ced. I said, buddy, thank you so much. How much do I owe you? He said, not a thing. Don't worry about it. And I mean, Matt, they would work like 30 minutes, right?
That's right.
And he said, not a thing. And, I looked over and Alvin and Stephanie were, no, this. And I thought, now, and here's something I hadn't mentioned, I didn't think about this until now. Ced is an African American guy. All right. And it did cross my mind. We watch so much on the news about how mad everybody is at everybody. And it just doesn't. I mean, maybe somebody's mad at somebody over here, but I see people working together like this all the time. And so here's Alvin, a kind of an older gentleman, and I say older. He's not old, but he's just older than me, and sometimes I feel old. But Ced is a younger African American guy, and Alvin and Ced working together, laughing together. Neither one of them had to do anything, right? I mean, they didn't have to do anything. It wasn't their problem. And both of them came over they looked like they're having trouble and stayed there and got us going and wouldn't take any money for it. And when both of them said that, I turned to Matt and I said, maybe we can work up a little business for you tomorrow, because we do have something to talk about now. But I tell you what, they were just awesome. And we'll put that up at the end, or you can kind of replay it. You can watch this later. But they were awesome. And just what an incredible testament to our country and the people in it that we don't hear about. I mean, on the news, we hear about the people that cause problems and the people that want problems caused. Don't you look sometimes at some of the people that want problems caused and you think, if everybody really did get along, what would you do for a living? Because they make money by fomenting disagreement and making people mad at each other. And if everybody got along, how would they make any money? Yes, they'd have to work like the rest of us. But, most of the people that I see are getting along. And I just thought that Alvin and Stephanie and Ced were just, what a great example of the kind of people we live around here, America, in a crazy situation. And as I think about it, as they were working on that chain, they weren't social distancing. They were pretty close together down there working on that chain. But man, we sure appreciated them. They were just awesome. And so if you guys happen to see this, Ced, Stephanie, I asked for their cards, and that's why I got their cards. And I'll send them some books. I'm going to send them some books and stuff. But if you get a chance to just email them or something and say thanks, I think that would be very nice. Shelley says, love this. It takes a village to do anything the best. And these are memories of the best. Anybody else you want to talk about? We're just kind of out of time for lunch. We hope you'll join us tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Blue Plate Special will be at, guess what time? Guess what? Go ahead and just guess. That's right, 12:15 Central Time. We're going to do another one tomorrow. We're going to do one Friday, and then Friday we'll kind of have figured out what we're going to do next week. Dean asked, would you wish my son Joel a happy 14th birthday? Dean, I will. But you must understand that your son Joel is 14. And there are likely to be some of his friends watching. And so what you just did as a dad, Dean, is embarrass your son Joel. Now, being a dad myself and knowing how important to the parenting concept it is for a father to embarrass his children, I think it's a wonderful thing. I came through the Dallas airport not too long ago. And there was some big chair, like this is a giant chair, an oversized chair advertising something, I don't know what it was. And there was this dad, and he's sitting up in the chair, and he's like this. Well, there's the mom taking her picture of that, And there's the 14-year-old girl, looks like about 14, and she's horrified. I mean, she's trying, please, would the ground swallow me up? She's horrified. I walk by, and I smile, and I walk another 20 feet. I think about it a second, and I stop, and I turn back around. And by the time I get there, he's out of the chair now. And I stopped for a second and said, hey, guys, excuse me just a second. I noticed you opened the chair. And I'm smiling when I'm saying this because I don't want them to think I'm thinking anything's wrong with it. All right. So I said, excuse me just a second. I walked by just thinking, I noticed you up in the chair, and I noticed you taking the picture, and I saw, is your daughter? I said, yes. And I said, I just want to say to your daughter that I think it's very awesome that you have a dad who loves you enough to embarrass you in public so that you will have a memory to tell your children about years from now when you want to embarrass your own children. So I just think it's cool to see this family. They were like, oh, thank you. And, of course, the girl was more embarrassed. So, Joel, happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday from your dad and from me, from Matt. Happy birthday. And I hope all the family friends that are watching or who see this, I hope they all call and sing to you. Okay, hey, Julie Skelton. Hey, Julie. Says, hey, from Birmingham. Yeah, man, can you give a shout out to Jim and Jesse and Jill? Absolutely. You know, Jillo, her name is Jill with one L, but I actually have a license to call her Jillo. Jillo and I were in the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade together, and we still keep up. She lives up in Minnesota. One of my, Dan lives up there. Jill lives up there. I don't understand why. But she's, probably the only Alabama fan in the state of Minnesota. But there she is up there, Jill and David. And Jim and Jesse were Jill and Julie and Jamie. They had like 40 kids. But the parents, Jim and Jesse, I don't know them as Jim and Jesse. When I saw that, Julie and Jim, could you shout out to Jim and Jesse? And I'm like, who's Jim and Jesse? Julie, that's Mr. and Mrs. Skelton to me, okay? So, but Mr. Skelton was my Sunday school teacher. And, all right, it's rainy here in Orange Beach, but it's sunny inside Wisdom Harbor Studios, and we appreciate you being with us. Thank you so much. Thank you, those of you who shared this to your pages. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you being with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. And we got something cooking for tomorrow that we want you to be a part of. Well, let's start off with you. We'd like to have some comments about the craziest named cities in your state, or Jennifer in Australia. And we'll start off with that, and then we've got something else we want to discuss. That's Lunchtime Learning and Laughter tomorrow on the Blue Plate Special. Bye-bye.